G'day everyone, welcome to my very first episode of Cam Rides. I'm super excited. I've always wanted to do this. As you can tell from the video, we are reviewing my brand new Panigale V4. Because this is my first time, guys, if there's anything I can improve on or anything, please let me know. The editing might be a bit wishy-washy, it's my first time. But, if there's anything I can improve on, let me know, please. I want to learn. I want to get better at this. It's something I've always wanted to do, looking at other, motor vloggers vlogging and everything like that. But here we are in Sydney, Australia. It's still in the summertime. It's actually in the fall season or autumn. Still a bit warm. Hasn't gotten too cold just yet. So it's still pretty good riding weather, so I've given this a good run. I've only got about just under 500 kilometers on this bike, so I'm still breaking it in. Still have another 500 to go before the first service, but I'd like to give you guys a review like an average person. I'm an average rider. I don't think I wouldn't call myself a professional or anything, but I think a lot of people who are going to buy a lot of these sport bikes are just average riders, and so I want to give you a decent review of a guy who just rides around in the city, does some twisty stuff on the weekend. I am planning on doing a track day. I'm not sure when I'll be able to do that, but that's what I am planning. But yeah, so I've had it for about a week now, and it has amazed me. I mean, if you just look at this bike, it is just dripping with Italian beauty and craftsmanship. I mean, just I'm in awe of it, to be honest, of how beautiful it is. One of the best looking bikes I've seen out there on the market at this point in time. Bit of technical aspects. So, 1103cc engine. Produces about 214 horsepower, 124 newton meters of torque. So yeah, this is a no joke bike. Comparing it to the 1299, which produced about 205 horsepower with about 144 newton meters of torque. I'm pretty sure it is. It's a serious bike. But here's a cool thing. With it being a V4, it's so smooth. It is so easy to ride. It's like that. That's what I'm in shock of. I pulled out of the dealership, and I was just gobsmacked. I was like, "Wow!" Like, I've ridden the 1299 a couple of times before, and you could tell that bike just wanted to be on a racetrack. It was slow. It was luggy down, down in the lower RPM. Did not like it. Did not like it at all. This bike, city riding, easy. Not a problem. That's what I'm impressed with. I was reading some reviews and they hit it. They hit the nail on the head. This bike can be as tamed as you want it or as wild as you want it. And promise me, I'm saying it's easy to ride, but this thing wants to go. You can feel it. I mean, I can't take it past 6,000-7,000 RPM. I've done a little bit past that, but I mean, in that rev range, you can feel it's like, okay, we're on. We're ready to roll. Let's go. But it has a counter-rotating crankshaft, which is the first on a street motorcycle, and I've noticed it a little bit. I mean, I did carve up some twisties not too long ago, and in the higher speeds, you can actually feel it's easier to tip in. Just a little bit about myself. My previous bike was a BMW S1000RR, so that's what I'm comparing to. The S1000RR was my first sport bike. I've been riding since I was 7 years old, so I've been riding for quite a while. So I'm not just going out and buying these stupid sport bikes. But the BMW, I mean, amazing bike, loved it. Cruise control, heated grips, comfy, awesome, easy to ride around town, inline 4, heaps of power on the top end. And I loved it. But there was just something that it was missing. It had no character, which this bike does. I mean, just by looking at it, you can tell it's a beast, and it just wants to tear your limb from limb, which it can do. It can, but at the same time, like I said, if you want it to be cool, it can be cool. But yeah, counter-rotating crank. Yes, it does work. Yes, you can feel it if you're going hard. And I've had to actually adjust my lines on some of my favorite roads because of how quick it turns in, which is awesome. Also has a new Pirelli Supercorsa R with the 60 profile. I mean, that helps a bit as well with the tipping into the corner. You can definitely feel that. But overall, it is a sex on wheels. That's all I have to say. I mean, just look at the headlights. It is awesome. It just looks mean. That's my favorite. Alrighty. So here we are on the road with it. Ergonomics. Let's start off with ergonomics. Pretty good. And as far as sport bikes actually go, I think the one thing that I was sort of a bit nervous about with getting this bike is the fact that it wasn't going to be that comfortable like the other Panigales. Like, I mean, I really loved my BMW S1000 RR just because of the fact of it that it was comfy, and you know, it wasn't too crouched over, it wasn't too stressed, like, you know, there wasn't a lot of weight on your wrists. It was great. But this has actually nailed it on the head. The tank's a little bit wider, so there's more to grip on with your knees. Not so much weight on your wrist, which is awesome. The windshield is actually deflects more of the wind above your head, so that's a plus. And obviously the bars are wider as well, which sort of helps if you're like, I'm sort of like a bigger guy. I have wider shoulders, so having a wide bar actually helps. Comparing to the BMW S1000 RR, which wasn't as wide, it was actually a bit narrow. I'm not saying it wasn't comfortable, but this just has another level of it. First thing you'll notice is the dash. Full color, I think it's a 5-inch display, which is pretty awesome. Has everything. You go into riding modes, change it like that. You got race, sports, street, whatever you want. And it does it on the fly. You just you choose your mode, close the throttle, bang, you know, into your new riding mode, which is awesome. I'll show you guys with this when I stop, but the bloody the settings that you can change on this bike, and how intuitive it is to change it. As in, like, it's not like, you look at other bikes like the BMW, Yamaha R1, great dashes, but I mean, when you go to change stuff, it's all numbers, and a lot of people don't really understand that. And what Ducati have done is, and I'll show you guys, is like, when you want to change like the engine or the suspension or anything like that, it comes up with a picture, and it tells you, it's like, doing track or road performance, and you adjust the slide depending on what you want. And I think that's great, because then it's more friendly to people who aren't really you know, don't really understand rebound and compression and stuff like that. And it makes it a bit more, you know, be like, oh, okay, understandable is the word I'm looking for, I guess. But another big question that I hear a lot of people ask about is heat. Yes, it gets hot. In terms of the 1299, I'm not too sure how hot that bike got, because I only rode it for a couple of hours. I didn't get a good run on it. Comparing it to the S1000 RR, it is a bit warm. Is it uncomfortable? Not really, to be honest. Like, when I picked this bike up that day, it was a 34-degree day. It was hot here in Sydney for fall. Like, it was pretty warm. And I could feel the heat. I could definitely feel the heat. Especially this front frame down the side here, that gets hot. Oh my goodness, does that get hot. But uncomfortable? I mean, if you're in long pants, jeans, you're fine. It's a sport bike after all. Heat comes, I think, fourth in the line of what they look at when it comes to making a sport bike, I guess. I mean, I've already touched on this before, but super smooth bike. It is awesome. Like that V4, as it's changed Ducati. It has changed, and like the past few years, like BMW has had that king spot in terms of horsepower and in terms of versatility. Like the BMW is smooth everywhere, great bike. But I think Ducati has regained that crown after a few years now. Like I mean, you can tell now I'm riding and it's smooth. I'm not having to force it up the gears and or like drop a gear down to get into high RPMs to do a bit of city riding. It doesn't want that. It's like, hey man, you want to cruise in first, the second, and be down in 4,000 to 3,000 RPM? No worries, mate. We can do that for you. Or if you want to chuck it into race mode where the throttle's twitchy and you want to go hard, the bike's like, yeah man, no worries, let's hit that track. And that's what it wants to do. Depending on what mode you have it in, is how that bike's going to feel. Suspension. So I had the dynamic suspension on the BMW, which is, I guess, a semi-active suspension. Like I said, as an average rider, I didn't really notice the change that much. I mean, I'm sure if you're on a racetrack and you track a lot, you could probably tell. But I couldn't. I seriously couldn't. I liked that it was there, but I just couldn't tell. The suspension on this, it is I think it's the second version of the old semi-active suspension. And oh my goodness, you can feel it. I mean, I'm in street mode, and this is my first bike I've ever ridden with Olin suspension, by the way. It is incredible. It soaks up the bumps on normal street riding, you know, compared to the S1000 RR, where I felt like it was always firm with the suspension on the S1000. But this is like, I'm in street, it goes plush. It's like, like, you know, Sydney doesn't have the greatest roads in some areas. It's full of bumpy and cracky, like you can see here. No problem. Like, it's fine. It soaks it up, which is what you want. Excuse me. When you put it in race, that firms that thing right up. And and the best thing is that's in just dynamic mode. Another Panigale. And that's just in dynamic mode. So dynamic mode is like it adjusts it for you. So if you go in and adjust it yourself, I'm sure you can get up to the setup that you want. I mean, what else? I mean, it's got launch control, which isn't, I mean, if you're tracking, racing, it's a good feature. But I will tell you the one thing I hate. I just want to grab whoever made this side stand and shake him and say, what the hell were you thinking? That's exactly what I want to do. Is just grab them, because this side stand is the worst. Like, I can't even tell you how bad it is, just because of the sheer fact that you can't get the bloody thing down. I'll show you in a second. Is this the smallest knob you'll ever find on the side stand? There we go, guys. Bloody great view of Sydney. Harbour Bridge, Opera House, City Skyline. What can you ask for? I don't know. Some cute little doggies. Yeah. Yeah, look at that. I don't know if you can see it, but it's in front of the gear shift. when most bikes have to stand behind. So that's the only thing I hate. Yeah, I mean, well, I hope you guys enjoyed this little review. Like I said, it's my first time, so I know it's not going to be the greatest. You know, I haven't even started editing, obviously, so hopefully that's not too bad. But I mean, guys, if you haven't ridden this bike, you should definitely give it a go, because it changes your perception on Ducati. Like it's a totally different bike. It has Ducati characteristics, but they've done something to it, you can tell, and it's on a whole nother level. That's all I have to say. New brakes as well, so they're the new Stylema brakes, which is only used for Ducati this year. They have the rights to it just for this year, then after that other brands can start using it, so that's pretty cool. I haven't really tested them out just yet, but I've heard they're super sharp compared to the M50 ones, just a little bit better, which I'm looking forward to getting this thing out on the track and testing all those features. Oh yeah, the dash. So as I was saying, I love this startup as well, by the way. As I was saying before, so you go into setting menu, go into info. No, you don't. Go to exit. Setting menu, riding mode. Sorry. So we're going to sport. We'll look at the engine. It's on medium, so there's full power, but it's got smooth throttle. High, full power and dynamic. Low, self-explanatory. ABS, road, track. It still has the numbers, but every time you change the numbers, it tells you what it's changing. Engine braking, same thing. There's not really that much else to say, really. I mean, beautiful bike with a beautiful view. I mean, you can't get much better than that on the weekend. Yeah, well, if you've made it this far, thanks for watching, guys. I will do more reviews on this bike soon. As I said, plan a track day, but not sure as of yet. I sort of want to do it when I still have these super courses on, because I will change them, because, I mean, great tyre and everything, but, you know, they are expensive, and you do go through them relatively quickly compared to other ones. I was looking at the Diablo Rosso 3 as the next tyre, which is still a sporty tyre, but you get a bit more life, which is what I want out of it. But yeah, I'll do some twisty roads soon. I'll do a beach run, just me talking about the bike, riding to the beach and stuff like that. But yeah, anyway, guys, hope you have a great weekend. You know, thanks for watching, guys. Alrighty, I'll see you all later. Thank you.